We all walked back into town together, following behind D-Man and Bravo. Even the rugged brutes of the roughhouse cowered away as we passed. We came to the no-holds bar and stopped. I was fizzing with excitement, like a shook-up can of caffeinated Exploda soda. You could plug a guitar into me. That's how amped I was. Never did I think I would be a scruffy enough scrapper to puff my fuzzy chest in that badass establishment. Now, not only did I get to enter, but my posse and I were the baddest apples in the whole bunch. D-Man crouched down to squeeze through the stone doorway. He didn't fit, so he hole-punched it wider. The bartenders inside gave him a good yap about the damage. He roared at them, and they didn't say another word. We sat down around a long wooden table and ordered a round of suds. We hadn't a clue how much poison it would take to give D-Man a buzz. We just knew it would be a lot. I told the bartenders to bring him the biggest barrel of bubble fun that a burly barley drinker could bear gulping down his gullet. It was a big barrel. As I suspected, though, it didn't stand much of a chance against our monster. He threw it back with ease. I ordered a second one, but it occurred to me that paying for D-Man to continue drinking here was going to quickly drain me dry of my token supply. Anyway, I let the thought simmer on the back burner of my mind. "How is it?" I asked Demolition Man. He made another unintelligible monster gurgle. "He likes it," Bravo said. I gave D-Man a thumbs up. He gave me a thumbs up too, and then he gulped down the second barrel of bubble fun. "I'm really glad you're not trying to eat my face anymore," I told him. "You must be one of those nice monsters who's just misunderstood." D-Man made an odd face, and then he responded in monster language again. "He says he still wants to eat you," Bravo translated. "If I weren't here, he would eat your face right now." "Good to know," I said. "Cheers." We drank for hours, and soon we were all as funked up as a hydraulic suspension bouncing to a boogie bass line. I noticed some things while I was in this state. Number one, Pepito and Rascal have stayed side by side since they were both banished from the docks together. I think that there's some romantic chemistry going on between those lovely little molecules. Why not? She's got pretty green lookers and a cute mousy face. He has a perfect backpack. They would be perfect together. Two aardvarks on an ark. I saw her rest her head on his shoulder for a split moment, and it made me feel all warm inside. Number two, the longer I spent sitting next to D-Man, the more I felt like he was my friend. He isn't my friend, of course. I mean, he was very clear about wanting to eat me. That didn't stop me from wanting to give him a hug, though. Why is that? Why is there part of me that gravitates towards my own self-destruction? I don't know. Number three, Bunny Bones was so cute today, all angry at me and fretting for my safety. She must really care about me. I wanted to boop her little pointed sniffer. I wanted to nuzzle her sweet navel. I think that I am completely and foolishly in love with her. In the end, D-Man drank more barrels of bubble fun than I could keep track of. I couldn't keep track of much because I was blitzed into a ditzy oblivion. We all were. But that's beside the point. The barman dropped off the check. The thought of payment that was still sizzling on my brain's back burner and sticking to the bottom of the pan came knocking on the door to my frontal lobe. I held up the tab to take a gander at the damage. Oh boy. Each of the 18 barrels that our monster drank counted for about 250 pints. At 3 tokens and a half per pint, that brought us to many tokens. Whoops. Well, I had two thoughts foot racing across the asphalt of my gray matter. The first was to ask Reaction to pay the bill. He certainly could. I even think he would have found it pleasurable to flaunt and flash his platinum pinky ring in the faces of the bar proprietors. The second thought was better, though. "Let's do a drinkin' dash," I said to my friends. Demolition Man nodded vigorously in agreement with me, as did Pepito. Of course, Reaction and Clover were in as well. Nickel sighed like he knew he wasn't going to have much say in the matter. "No way," Booby said. "That's unethical." Surprise, surprise. Bravo sided with Booby. Et tu, Brutus? The others weren't quite sure. They all looked to Bunny to mediate. It was her job as the unspoken leader. I was positive she'd immediately shoot down this juicy goose of an idea. She never gave my ideas a fair shot. However, to my surprise, this time, Bunny gave it some real consideration. She grinned. "Let's do it," she said. Was this the girl I know and love, or was this some kind of beautiful imposter? Bunny hiccuped, and I could smell the strong scent of hops on her breath. Maybe the booze was bringing out her rebellious side. "Hell yeah," I said enthusiastically. Booby was super huffy and puffy at Bunny. "I thought you had better judgment than this," he said to her. "Relax, Booby," Clover said. "A field trip to the dark side doesn't make you a resident." Booby continued to have a conniption fit, but nobody listened to it. Instead, we all leaned in to form a huddle. "We'll dash on my cue," I said. Everybody nodded. L, M, N, O, P. They all looked at me in anticipation. "Q!" I shouted, but nobody moved. "What's wrong?" I asked. "That's not a Q," Dia said. "That's a Q." "Right. I was trying to be clever." "Yeah, I know," Dia said. It was a stretch. Fine, you do it then, I said. Dia raised her hand up and then dropped it rapidly, yelling, "Go!" This was a proper cue. We were off in a flash like Formula One cars, from 0 to 60 in no time at all. It was the formula for a good time. Adrenaline filled my fuel tank, and I was burning the rubber on the bottoms of my sneakers. Demolition Man smashed through the doorway, causing even more damage on his way out. All the girls joined hands and ran together. Bunny yelled, "Freedom!" and the others followed her example. It was really cool seeing them unite like this, letting their freak flags show. It was really cool to see Bunny let loose. We dashed out of the no-holds bar and out of Put-em Uptown, out of the whole damn roughhouse. The bartenders yelled after us, but it was no use. We ghosted. In all honesty, with D-Man by our sides, we could have walked out of there. What were they going to do? Call the police woofers on us? Police woofers didn't even bother trying to maintain law and order in the roughhouse. It was too bonkers in there. If every criminal was held accountable for their crimes, no one would be left in the city. We were back on the road, and it was getting late. The fuchsia all around us started fading into a warm, blood orange color. There were creamy white marshmallowy fluffs floating in the upward, downward, and sideward skies. It looked like somebody had forgotten to mix the universe this evening. That's okay. It made for a beautiful view. I didn't know how I was going to get rid of D-Man and Bravo. There was no way that they would willingly return to a caged existence inside my ribs. So eventually I just closed my eyes and pretended real hard that they didn't exist at all. After repetitively telling myself that they weren't there, I opened my eyes and shazam! They had disappeared back into the hole in my chest, buried deep, deep, real deep down. Don't worry, they aren't actually gone. Anytime I try to emulate one or the other with my actions, the other tugs back on the reins. Wait a second. Bravo took my movie star shades with him. Bastard. The 10 of us found a nice spot to camp for the night. We sat together in a bundle of blankets, looking up, down, and all around. The blood-orange skies with whipped marshmallow clouds eventually transformed into a dark, jammy sangria red. Chunks of fire-colored tropical fruits floated in the outermost stratosphere of the sangria red dimension. We all held each other snugly, and sleepiness swallowed us with one hungry nom.